Hi everyone. I am Nüket Gündüz. I'm an assistant professor in ELT department, and my MA MBA is from ELT, and my PhD is from curriculum and instruction. And today I'm going to share one of my studies, which is implementation of Moodle system into EFL classes in TMK, which is a state school, English medium state school. And this study is an evaluation. I just want to go over the content. I'm sorry, I'm having a... Hi everyone, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Nüket Gündüz from nearest university. I am assistant professor. My study that I'm going to share today is implementation of model system into EFL classes in TMK, which is an evaluation study. And I'd like to state that TMK is a state school which is using English medium as an instruction. Just go over the contents. We will look at the problem of the study, aim of the study. We will see the study questions. We We will talk about the significance of the study. I will give the limitations and the methodology and the data collecting tools, reliability and the validity of the study. I will talk about data analysis, findings, and finally discussion and conclusion. So let's have a look at the problem of the study. Leaders of tomorrow are the students of today, and considering the changes and demands of this age, there is a need to change and restructure the educational environments in order to fulfill the requirements of future leaders. And new technologies in the classrooms are a way for teachers to alter and change ways of instructing to meet the ever-changing needs of their students. The authentic opportunities that the internet provides also increase language learners' motivation towards learning activities. And utilization of softwares and online resources are valuable as blended learning programs empowers flexibility and autonomy of our students. And let's have a look at the aim of the study. The aim of the study was to examine the students' perception on using Moodle system in TMK, which is the state school, as I stated, in English language lessons. And I'd like to state, we will see the significance of the study, that I want to put a stress on this, that this study was conducted before the COVID period. And it was a new thing, the Moodle in that school. The following questions were asked to examine and explore students and EFL teachers' perception on using Moodle in their English classes. And our study questions was, how is the general perception of students towards the Moodle system in EFL classes? Are there any differences between perceptions of the students towards the Moodle system in EFL classes according to their age, gender, year of study, system access? And what are the teachers' opinions about using Moodle in English lessons? And significance of the study was the development and implementation of the latest technology in education enables innovative student-centered teaching, which enhances collaborative learning, problem solving, and constructivism. And a void in the literature regarding the use of latest technology in state schools in North Cyprus was seen, and TMK was the only school using Moodle. So an evaluation will help to improve the practices of TMK regarding Moodle. And as I have stated beforehand, this study was conducted before the COVID-19 period. Let's have a look at the limitations. The study was limited to one high school because there was only one high school in North Cyprus that implemented Moodle system as a way to practice blended learning approach. Therefore, the findings can only be generalized to the population of that high school. And regarding the methodology, the research design was a mixed methods approach. A survey questionnaire for collecting quantitative data on students' perception of the Moodle system was used, and qualitative data was collected from semi-structured discussions of the focus groups of teachers about their opinions of the Moodle system. And the sample and the participants were 333 secondary and high school students studying in Marif College TMK. Group 1 consisted of 131 students between the age of 13 to 15, and Group 2 consisted of 202 students who were between 16 and 18 age group. And randomly selected teachers were used to collect the qualitative data. Data collections, a researcher-made questionnaire adapted from learning management system coherence with technology. It had two parts. The first part was developed by the researcher which consisted of 5 items for collecting information about students' age, students' gender, and students' class, and their problems about accessing to Moodle at home. The second part of our collection tools were 23 items under 5 dimensions for the analysis purpose, and these dimensions were divided as self-efficacy, perceived ease of use, attitude, system usage, and personal innovativeness in the domain of information technology. Qualitative data were collected from 2 focus groups formed by English teachers. 5 open-ended questions were prepared to be used in semi-structured discussions, and these questions were: what are the benefits of using Moodle in your English courses? In what terms has the Moodle made your students successful? And what are the needed requirements for a teacher who is using Moodle for teaching English? And the last one was, do you believe that school facilities are adequate for the Moodle system to function? And when we look at the reliability and the validity of our tools, the Chromba Alpha score of the results were as follows. Self-efficacy was 0.965. Perceived ease of use was 0.890. And the attitude was 972, and the system usage was 911, and personal innovativeness in the domain of information was 0.83. And the quantitative analysis was conducted by using SPSS. Qualitative analyses were content-based. Descriptive statistics were used to find out the percentages and frequencies of the demographic features of the students, and the variables of the perception of Moodle were explained with the lowest and the highest scores of mean and standard deviation. Quantitative data analysis, t-tests were used, were carried out based on comparison of different groups and variables, such as different grade levels and private lesson attendance. And one-way ANOVA and LSD were conducted to analyze and compare the significant differences in perceptions between groups who had different degrees of problems in accessing the Moodle system. And the significant decrease among groups were accepted as 0.05 degrees. And when we look at the qualitative data, we will see that qualitative data was analyzed using open coding method, and responses from each participant were analyzed in details, and sentences, phrases, and words were studied separately in line with the relation to the topic and analyzed according to their relevances. When we look at the findings of the demographic features, we will see that between the age 13 and 15, it was 39%, and between age 16 and 18, we had 61% of participants. When we look at the gender, 52% were female and 48% were male. And when we look at their year of study, which we divided into secondary and high school categories, we had 39.3% in the secondary, and we had 60.97 in the high school category. And when we look at the findings based on the 5 dimensions that I have mentioned, computer self-efficacy of the students were seen to be 3.74, and perceived ease of use was calculated as 3.28. And the system, these are the mean scores that I'm talking about. And the system usage was 2.78, and attitude was seen as 3.11. And personal innovativeness in the domain of information technology was seen to be 3.45. And when we look at the teachers' perceptions and opinions towards Moodle system, which we collected through 5 guiding interview questions, which were, what are the benefits of using Moodle in your English courses, and in what terms has the Moodle made your students successful, and what are the needs of your, what are the needed requirements for a teacher who is using Moodle for teaching English, and do you believe that school facilities are adequate for Moodle system to function? And what are the attitudes of the students about the implementation of the Moodle system? And majority of the teachers, when we analyze the qualitative data, mentioned that they did not use the system frequently because some students were still facing problems with the system, like the passwords they were given, the admins, and the access issues. And this, as I have expressed in the beginning, was before the COVID-19 period, so blended learning was not effectively practiced during those periods. And in terms of frequency and type of use, majority of the teachers stated that the school's internet provision was not reliable and the system crashed at some stages. And when we look at the findings and the results of the students and the teachers, we will discuss under titles of Moodle access problems, young learners and Moodle, implementation or integration, and perceptions towards Moodle system. When we look at the Moodle access problems, students not having problems while accessing to the system out of school premises seem to be self-efficient and also found the system easy to use. And when we look at students' attitudes, it is seen that they were also affected by the system access, but the lower the degrees of access problems and the higher the positive attitudes they had. However, interesting point was that students who often had access problems had positive perceptions than the others towards using the system, which we didn't expect this result to happen. And when we look under the title of Young Learners and Moodle, the perceived ease of use, attitudes, and the system usage of students enrolled in high school was seen to be lower than secondary school students. Surprisingly, the students' computer self-efficacy and innovativeness were very close and at the highest degree. And when we look at the computer efficacy and innovativeness, this was not seen to affect high school students to have positive perceptions towards using the Moodle system. The fact that secondary school students use the system more frequently than the high school students supports the teachers' argue on that system was more suitable for younger students. And another remarkable fact was that teachers about students' low achievements during that period, which could be an answer for high school level students using the system at a lower degree than the secondary level of students. And when we look at the category of implementation or integration, we see that despite the low usage of the system, it was surprising that students did not claim to face big problems in accessing to the system outside the school. And one remarkable fact that generally affects the whole system and significantly the usage is that the teachers were not aware of the facilities and options that Moodle provided. The role of the teachers is important, as we all know, for the Moodle system to be used effectively. Before the implementation of such technologic systems like Moodle, there's a need to bring different understanding and classroom instructions for the sake of the system not to be just implemented, but to be integrated into the education process, which is in line with the study arguing that technology integration does not occur unless a careful alignment of content, pedagogy, and potential of technology is considered. And when we look at the perceptions towards the Moodle system, the younger participants in secondary level had more positive perception and used the system more than the older students, like in high school levels. And the process during the implementation of piloting period, it was quoted by the teachers and seemed that the system was just implemented, not integrated into the current process. And when we look at teachers' digital literacy and knowledge about the applicable functions along with students' barriers and misconceptions about the system, there's a need to be reviewed by the school authority. And when we look at one of the studies where it says successful technology implementation into EFL context requires teachers' technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge to be considered. And I will end my study with the references, and thank you for listening.